What's up, fam? Welcome, bad bitches of the world. How's everyone doing? If you are new to my channel, hello, my name is Natalie, and this is my channel, Music to Makeup.
My intuition is telling me there'll be better days.
So, today's video, I am super excited for. But so today's video is going to be the best books for getting over an ex, especially a toxic ex or toxic relationship, and just getting over a heartbreak. Now, I think that this video will be beneficial for everyone, because they're not just books that are gonna, you know, keep you distracted so you don't think about your ex. They are books that are going to push you to be a better person and to be a better partner for when you are in a relationship again. They're not just, you know, temporary fixes to keep, you know, your mind occupied until you get over it. Like, these are gonna help you become a better person, as well as get over your ex or get over your broken heart. And I was always in relationships since I was 16. So beliefs that I thought were mine weren't actually mine. And when I was finally on my own, I was able to do a lot of self-discovery and figure out which beliefs were mine and, you know, which I had just believed because I was convinced it was right for whatever reason. Self-discovery is the key to confidence, and it wasn't until I knew who I really was that I started to accept myself and to love myself. So that is key, and these books will help you do that. They'll also help you to realize your worth. A lot of the issues that I had in dating, you know, when I was younger, was I didn't believe that I deserved to be happy or to be loved. Whenever a relationship would end, I would get so scared. I'd be like, oh, well, I'm not going to be able to find anyone else. You know, who's going to want me? It wasn't until I realized that I was a high value woman and these men didn't even deserve the time of day and to be in my presence. So they really helped me to, you know, realize what my worth is. And another issue I had was my mom doesn't have any boundaries, so I grew up with no boundaries. And I had to learn how to establish boundaries, especially in romantic relationships, because when you don't have boundaries, then that just allows people to walk all over you. Okay, but I'm talking a lot, but these are 5 amazing books that will just change your life and make you a better person, whether you're getting over a breakup or you're single or you're in a relationship. These are just all really good books. So if you would like to see the books I'm talking about, then keep on watching. And if you do like this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. And let's get right into it. Alright, so the first one, this is especially important if you are getting out of a toxic relationship and someone who's possibly narcissistic and emotionally manipulative. And it is the No Contact Rule by Natalie. Now, when anyone, you know, goes through a breakup, they may reach out to their ex because they're in pain. They want to feel that love again, to feel loved and accepted. And, you know, so we can have a tendency to constantly go back and believe these people when they say they've changed when they really haven't. When I first read this book, the whole concept of ignoring someone. I was like, what? It was, I was very young when I read it. Well, not very, I was in my 20s, but I was like, that's not gonna work. I would be disrespected, treated poorly, and I would still go back to that person. And I read this book, and it finally got me to get over someone that I had been having such a hard time with, and was just on off. And it started my path of self-discovery and confidence building. When I first read it, throughout the book, she says, you know, if you're having some of these issues, then there are probably like some deeper underlying issues. And I'm like, no, I don't have any issues. I'm fine. It was all them. They cheated on me. How is that my fault? But I was codependent, and I didn't have any boundaries, and I didn't think I was worthy, but I didn't realize that at the time. So this book got me to recognize that there was something wrong, that I was contributing to these situations as well. So the no contact rule, it says, you're trying to get over your ex, yet you're still in touch and have ended up being their backup plan. Maybe you haven't left yet, but you want to and just don't know how. Maybe you're tired of doing the lather, rinse, repeat of getting back together and winding back at square one. It's time to cut contact. The no contact rule is an inspiring guide to extinguishing the temptation to stay in touch or to keep engaging, helping you to reclaim your sense of self and move on to a healthier relationship. Through her popular blog, Baggage Reclaim, Natalie Liu has helped thousands of people break free from unhealthy relationships and breakups after using no contact to kick a toxic relationship and transform her life. Discover what no contact is and how to do it, how to break an unhealthy cycle and navigate various situations from Facebook to pesky texts, working together, sharing a child, or feeling trapped by your feelings and thoughts. Cut contact and put the focus on you. By treating you with the love, care, trust, and respect you deserve, this could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. The reason why I talked about this one first is because I think when it's, you know, the breakup is fresh, that's the hardest time to, you know, resist the urge to contact them. And so the next book that I recommend, and even if you're not just coming out of a breakup, if you're a woman in general, I highly recommend this book to you. It is The Power of the Pussy. How to Get What You Want from Men. Love, Respect. Okay, so I first read this book. I was like, I cannot believe there's a book with someone saying pussy in it. Like, after I got over the shock, I was like, wow, this is really good advice. She uses a lot of, you know, cuss words and slang, so if you're offended by that, maybe you shouldn't read this book. But she also has kind of like a no BS sense of writing. She's like, I'm not gonna baby you. This is how real life is, and this is how, you know, this is the best way to act to avoid being used for sex or to avoid being manipulated. And, you know, she doesn't like cherry coat it or anything. So it says, Kara King's controversial dating and relationship advice book, The Power of the Pussy, shares 12 powerful secrets that will transform any woman into the type of strong, desirable woman that can effortlessly obtain what she wants from men, including the love, respect, and relationship she desires. In this book, you'll learn valuable lessons that will teach you how to flip the switch in your female brain so you can beat men at their own game, have men lining up to date you and desperate for your attention, learn how to get over a breakup, heal from a broken heart, and never be sad over a man again. Become the type of woman that commands respect from men. Get the proposal, the ring, and the man of your dreams. Get what you want from men and have the time of your life while doing it. This book has empowered women and dramatically changed their lives and relationships by changing the way they think about men and dating, and it can change your life too. Disclaimer, it did say this book contains strong language, sexual content, and subject matter that may be offensive to some readers. She makes so many good points, and a lot of these were they were ones maybe I didn't believe were true. I didn't want to believe them, but she's like, I'm not gonna, sugarcoat it, like this is the truth. So our society and our culture, especially these days, and especially since smartphones have come out, it's all about, casual sex and blah, blah, blah. But that's not who I am. I know that I can't just have casual sex or be friends with benefits. And when women have sex, we release oxytocin, which is a hormone that makes us feel more emotionally attached to that person than we really are. So if you have sex too early with a person, it's going to be a false sense of intimacy. You're only going to feel that way. And, it can quite possibly, most likely, cause them to lose interest because men like to pursue. And some of the guys these days, they're so used to having women chase them that they want you to chase them, and I refuse to. Women, we're part of the problem too. Do not chase a man, please, I beg you. I understand your reasonings. I was there at one point too, but let me read this. Whatever type of girl you may be and whatever, because this is what our society teaches us. Some women think they can hook a man with their great sex, foolishly believing he'll want to be with her because she's the nastiest and freakiest woman he ever met. Then there are the women that say they're just having sex for fun and they don't care about the guy, but then secretly get sad when he doesn't call anymore. Whatever type of girl you may be and whatever your reasoning is, having sex with a guy you like is the absolute wrong thing to do. The trick is do not have sex. The less a man gets, the more a man wants you. Men only want you when they can't have you. Bottom line, I know it's stupid and you're probably tired of hearing this. You may think, if two people like each other, then what's the problem? Remember, these are men we are dealing with. And that's the same thing I would say to myself, like I'm an adult, like what's wrong with this? It doesn't matter how good in bed she is or how sexy she is. It doesn't matter how perfect she looks. She's officially a slut because she gave the guy what he wanted and he didn't have to put in any effort. Basically, men pretend they want a woman who doesn't play games and is mature, but these are just bullshit lines to get you to go to bed with them. Men have no problem being sweet in the beginning to get you into bed. They'll even love it while it's happening. However, once the sexual act is complete, the girl disgusts the man. That's why they act differently afterward. Men don't love sluts. They don't even like them. I'm going to move on to the third book, and it is The 7 Secrets to Healthy, Happy Relationships by Don Miguel Ruiz. He also wrote one of my favorite books of all time, The 4 Agreements. If you have not read that book, that is such a great book. As humans, most of us yearn for fulfilling relationships. They provide unlimited ways for us to learn, grow, thrive, and have fun. Yet, as we know, relationships aren't always a bed of roses, especially romantic ones. They don't make themselves, nor do they continue happily on autopilot once they begin. In this best-selling, one-of-a-kind book, authors Don Miguel Ruiz Jr. and Heatherash Amara share their 7 secrets to healthy, happy relationships. Commitment, freedom, awareness, healing, joy, communication, release. Understanding and enacting these principles can help you at any stage in your intimate partnering, whether you've been with someone for many years or are currently single and want to prepare for a relationship. This kind of focuses on making yourself whole first before you're able to be in a healthy, stable relationship. We have to be stable first before we're able to be, in a stable relationship. Book number 4 is Mars and Venus on a Date, a guide for navigating the 5 stages of dating to create a loving and lasting relationship. So this is by the author Dr. John Gray, and he also wrote Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. So if you haven't read that one either, I highly recommend that. That book helped me, both of these helped me recognize the way men and women unknowingly sabotage relationships. But I specifically want to talk about the dating one because he talks about 5 stages of dating, and all relationships, you know, eventually have to go through this if they want to be a healthy relationship. If you skip a stage, you're going to eventually have to come back to it, and everything will just be different if you try to move back. But so the 5 stages are, the first one is attraction, and he talks about common mistakes men make and women make during each of these stages. So he talks about it for attraction. Stage 2 is uncertainty. So it's, you know, we're attracted to someone, and then there's a point where something may happen, they might say something, and we're like, oh, well, maybe this person isn't right for me. And you kind of start to have doubts. And, you know, talks about how women can unknowingly sabotage that by becoming like too clingy during this time. But if they both decide to continue on after uncertainty, then the 3rd stage is exclusivity, and that is where they decide to be exclusive and focus on, you know, building a relationship and not seeing dating anyone else. And stage 4 is intimacy, and of course, you know, it talks about there are ways to be intimate without being completely physically intimate, because if you go to the stage of intimacy before exclusivity, then you expect exclusivity, you can't, because you didn't become exclusive before, you know. But this, like, I refer to this book so much. It completely changed the way I see dating and the way I act in dating. And I have definitely noticed that, like, more men have been attracted to me, and just my whole mindset. It's like, okay, now I know how the mind of a man works, and why when women do certain things, you know, it bothers them, and then vice versa. I know how we're different and what causes, you know, arguments or for relationships not to work because of misunderstandings. So I definitely recommend that book. Number 5. So by this point, you should, you know, like, start to feel better about yourself and have like a positive outlook on dating. I know at first it's very hard to, and you're still mourning your ex, and you're still fighting the urge to contact your ex. It's like, even though you know they're not right for you, it's still hard. It's like, it's something that has control over you. I completely understand. But that's why, like, no contact is key. And that's the first one. But by now, have moved on from him. You are starting to see the value in yourself, and you have seen examples and read how women are supposed to be treated. I think that's something a lot of women struggle with. Just because a man buys you dinner or does something nice for you, you do not owe him anything. You know, you might be dating and you want to work on becoming the best partner and person you can be, so that when you are in a relationship, it's a healthy, functional relationship. So the next book I want to talk about is The 5 Love Languages. This book helped me understand a lot of things too. And it's kind of how we all give and receive love in different ways. And there are the 5 different love languages. I actually have a video of the quiz you can take to find out what your love language is. I will put a link there, but I'm just gonna say what the 5 love languages are real quick. If you wanna know what yours is, check out this video. But the first one is physical affirmations, or verbal affirmations, gift giving, physical touch, quality time, and acts of service. So you can have one or you can have 2. I actually have 2. Mine are words of affirmation and acts of service. So now I'm going to talk about one more book, and this is also going to be related to if it was specifically a toxic relationship, and it is Women Who Love Too Much by Norwood.
She paused, and I spoke. Lots of times, we find ourselves doing the things our same-sex parent did. The very actions we promised ourselves we would never, never do. It's because we learned from their actions, even their feelings, what it is to be a man or a woman.
I actually have, it's a 3-part video that goes into a lot more depth about this book and my personal experience being a woman who loves too much. And this book, uncovered a lot about myself and how I became that way, and it was a very emotional experience, but it was something I definitely needed, because I just grown up thinking that I was inherently flawed, and I just spent my entire life trying to be perfect and trying to fix myself, but it wasn't me who needed to be fixed. I just needed to start loving and approving of myself. Let me read this real quick. Okay. Is having somebody to love the most important thing in your life? And society, has a big influence on women who love too much as well, and how they become that way. Okay. Is having someone to love the most important thing in your life? Do you constantly believe that with the right man, you would no longer feel depressed or lonely? Are you bored with nice guys who are open, honest, and dependable? If being in love means being in pain, this book was written for you. Therapist Norwood describes loving too much as a pattern of thoughts and behavior which certain women develop as a response to problems from childhood. Many women find themselves repeatedly drawn into unhappy and destructive relationships with men. Then they struggle to make these doomed relationships work. This best-selling book takes a hard look at how powerfully addictive these unhealthy relationships are, but also gives a very specific program for recovery from the disease of loving too much. I was in relationships the majority of my life because I was afraid to be alone. I was afraid to be with myself. I wasn't comfortable with myself. And this helped me really get to the source of the issues and to understand how these issues developed and why, and then how to take steps to get past it and to heal from it. If certain relationships, especially toxic ones, are almost impossible for you to leave, I would definitely recommend reading that book. Alright guys, so that is my list of the best books to get over a toxic ex and heal a broken heart. And just love yourself more, because that's what it is. It's learning how to love yourself and learning that you deserve to be treated with respect and compassion and patience and love and in every way you desire, and you deserve to have your needs met. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up and subscribing, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.